The sun was setting on the shores of Galilee, and thousands of people had gathered to hear Jesus teach. Men, women, and children pressed together, hungry not just for food, but for hope. The day had stretched long, and the people had forgotten their hunger while listening to his words. But now a problem arose. They were far from towns and markets, with no bread to eat. Whispers spread through the crowd. "What will we do?" The disciples looked at Jesus, concerned. It was impossible to feed such a massive crowd. Or was it?
As the disciples debated, one boy quietly stood with a small basket in his hands. Inside were 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish, barely enough for his own meal, let alone thousands. Yet he stepped forward. Andrew, one of the disciples, looked at the boy's offering and said to Jesus, "Here is a lad with 5 loaves and 2 fish, but what are they among so many?" The crowd might have laughed at such a small portion, but in the hands of Jesus, what seemed insignificant was about to become more than enough.
Jesus looked at the boy, smiled, and took the basket. Then he told the disciples, "Have the people sit down." Suddenly, order swept over the crowd of 5,000 men, plus women and children, as they sat on the grassy hillside. The people waited, unsure of what Jesus would do. With a small basket lifted toward heaven, Jesus gave thanks. And then something miraculous began. As he broke the bread, more appeared. The fish multiplied in his hands. What was small became abundant, flowing from his hands without end. The disciples rushed forward, carrying baskets overflowing with bread and fish. They passed it out, and to everyone's astonishment, every hand was filled. Families tore pieces of fresh bread, children ate fish until they were satisfied, and laughter and joy echoed across the hillside. The impossible had happened before their eyes. Thousands of hungry souls were not only fed, but filled completely. No one was left out, no one was turned away. What began as a boy's tiny meal had turned into a feast large enough for a multitude. And when it was over, the miracle was not finished. Jesus told the disciples, "Gather the leftovers, so nothing is wasted." They moved among the people with baskets and returned, each carrying 1 full basket of bread fragments. 12 baskets in all, more than what they started with. It was a sign, a reminder that in God's hands, nothing is ever too little. The crowd sat amazed, their hearts burning with wonder. They had not only witnessed a miracle, they had experienced it, tasting the abundance of heaven through a single act of faith.
That day on the hillside, one boy's small lunch became the centerpiece of one of the greatest miracles ever told. It wasn't the size of the gift that mattered, it was the willingness to give. Jesus showed that what we place in his hands can multiply beyond imagination. From scarcity to abundance, from hunger to fullness, the people walked away with more than bread. They walked away with faith. And today, the story still whispers to us. Even the smallest offering, when given to God, can change the lives of many.